In my internship this past summer, all the tech interns went out to lunch for the first time to get to know each other. This one IT intern turns to a guy and he says, "Oh, how's your SWE internship going? What's your project like? What team are you on?" So they discuss it for a few minutes. Then he turns to the rest of the group, which happens to be female, and he says, "So you three girls must be sales interns, huh?" And I'm just so shocked because it was the first time that had happened to me that someone was so prejudiced based on the fact that I was female.
Once, my female professor gave us surveys to fill out mid-semester to see how the class was going. Some of the students took this as an opportunity to tell her that they didn't want to hear about her kids. In reality, she'd only mentioned her children a handful of times, and only in passing throughout the semester. Another response she got criticized her for mentioning breastfeeding. What the students were referring to was the one time at the beginning of the semester when she asked us to knock before entering her office because she told us that she's a breastfeeding mother and maybe pumping milk during her downtimes, but apparently that's offensive information for some people.
So I think there's a lot of overt differences in the way that men and women are treated in computer science, but I've also noticed there are a lot more subtle differences as well. One that I've personally experienced is just feeling like I'm included and that my opinions are valued in a certain situation. For example, when I was interning in the past, I was working with a PM who only seemed to look at the men in the room, would only discuss their arguments and opinions, whereas it seemed like mine weren't taken into consideration.
And being a woman in tech, especially a woman of color in tech, it's tough. I'll never forget my junior year, I was in the GDC prepping for an interview, and one of my professors at the time came up, saw that I was prepping for an interview. He asked who I was interviewing with. At that time, I was interviewing with Twitter. And he made a comment that basically, companies aren't looking at my resume anymore because I'm a black woman. I kind of just get a free pass. But it happens all the time. I interned 4 times in 4 years while I was at UT, and at every job I went to, I still had to, double prove myself. Prove that, yeah, I'm here, I deserve to be here. Yes, I can push code. Yes, I look like an engineer, and so on and so forth. And so that's the experience, I think, of many women in tech, having to show and prove your worth.